So what is a tax deed foreclosure? In this video, I'm going to show you exactly what that process is and, quite honestly, how you can take advantage of it. The more you understand this process, the more you will make. It's super important that you pay attention to this video because if you get this, you're going to make a lot of money. Matter of fact, in this video, I'm going to show you not only how a tax lien foreclosure happens when it turns into a tax deed, but how you can benefit financially from it. And when we get done, I've got a special little gift for you. Once you get this, I'll show you how you can get to your first deal within the next 30 to 45 days. So stick around and I'll show you how to do that. First of all, what is a tax deed foreclosure? Okay, what a tax deed foreclosure is pretty simple, but in order to get the meat and potatoes of that, we have to go back a little bit. A tax deed becomes a tax deed due to a lack of paying property taxes, okay? Property taxes isn't like income tax and has nothing to do with that. So what the county says in all 50 states, including 5,013 taxing jurisdictions around the United States. There's only a couple thousand counties, but you gotta understand, some place like New Jersey has it done by townships and not by counties, so there's 168 townships, you know, blah, 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 blah. So there's so many taxing jurisdictions out there. What makes this so beautiful, and this is gonna sound counter, is every taxing jurisdiction has a different set of rules. You know, why is that a benefit? Because the big boys can't come in and systematize it. Unless you know the rules of your particular area, you're not gonna make it happen. So it can be frustrating for big investors. For us normal investors, you're like, look, all I gotta do is figure out how they tweak it here, boom, and I'm gonna make some money on that. So what happens is this, there's two different sides to one coin. The first side is called a tax lien certificate. Once a property owner has been delinquent 1 year, can't be before it, it has to be delinquent 1 year, then the county can offer that up for sale. But some counties say, no, we're not gonna do that, okay? They don't make that decision. Actually, the state says, we're just gonna keep them in inventory. If the property owner comes in, they can pay their property taxes off late with an interest rate. Okay, that interest rate can be anywhere from 16, 18, 25, even 36%, okay? But you and I aren't involved. Instead, they say, we're gonna wait 4 years. If they've been delinquent for 4 years on a year's taxing. So in other words, if they were late in 2020, okay, and 4 years later is 2024, they're gonna foreclose on that property. They don't have to be late 4 years in a row. Just 1 year has to be late 4 years. So once it hits 4 years, they go, okay, we're gonna go ahead and process a sale. They cannot sell a property for back taxes anywhere in the United States unless it's been delinquent for a minimum of 4 years. You're saying, wait a second, Sean, I think I've seen some of your other videos that said there's a tax deed sale and it has to wait 3 years. That would be Georgia, and you're absolutely right, but there's a 1 year redemption period. 1 plus 3 equals 4, okay? So it doesn't matter how you slice this timeline. You can't buy a tax lien unless it's been delinquent 1 year. You can't buy a tax deed at minimum of 4 years. Now you'll see some tax deeds that have been delinquent 4, 5, 6, 7, even 8 years. Again, depends on the system. Let's not worry about that right now. So at a tax deed foreclosure, this is when they're kind of saying, hey, enough's enough. Okay, it's been 4 years. We've sent notification after notification after notification. It's time for us to do something. So what they will do, the county, is they will notify everybody that's got a financial interest in that property. That would include Bank of America, Citibank, whatever loan, mortgage, penny save, whatever it is out there. If there's a mortgage on it, they're gonna notify them. If there's a mechanics lien, they're gonna notify them. If there's anything like that, they're gonna notify them. The bottom line is everybody that has a financial interest in this property has to be properly notified, because think about that. Wouldn't be fair If you were the bank and you lent this person, or a private individual and you lent this person money and put a lien against that house, and all of a sudden you wait, what happened? Well, we sold it for back taxes. Nobody told me. No, everybody's got to be notified. Once they've notified everybody, again, depending on the jurisdiction, they're going to say, okay, 60 days, 90 days, whatever that is. And during that foreclosure process, these things have to be done. Okay, there has to be a notification in the mail, certified mail, whatever those procedures are for that area, they have to be followed. And then at that point, the real estate courts are going to say, okay, everything's been done. Yep, everything's already, you now can take this to sale. Then the county will take it to an auction. That's where you and I come in. Now, here's how it works. The county is not allowed to profit from these. There can't be some county treasury person going, oh great, we're going to sell all these properties and reap these millions of dollars. Most people don't know this. Okay, so if the property taxes, let's just use an example, $10,000. Let's say that there's a $300,000 house. They owe $10,000 in taxes. The county brings it up for sale. The county's allowed to keep $10,000. This is important to understand. So let's say that you and I go to the sale and you bid it up to $50,000. Well, the county will take $50,000, but they're only allowed to keep 10 of that. What happens to the other $40,000? Very simple. It goes back to the former property owner. Now, this is called excess funds. Here's the challenge with the county. They've already notified the property owner a million times to Sunday that the property was going up for sale. Unless the former property owner comes in and applies for that money, it's not going to happen. And that's usually a 6-month process. So the county has already done their obligation of notifying them. So at this point, they're just kind of like, okay, it's kind of sitting over there. Okay, I'm bringing that up for a reason. Because if you bought that property for $50,000, okay, and there's $40,000 in excess funds sitting in inventory, you might have a little more of a motivation to get a hold of that former property owner and go, look, your property was sold at the sale, but there's tens of thousands of dollars that are available for you at the county. I'll help you get the paperwork filled out. I'll go through the whole process, and when we get it back, maybe I'll get a little piece of the action. Maybe I'll charge you 20%. Maybe I'll charge you 15%, whatever the case is on it. There's other things you can do with the money, but that's where you want to go. So that's how it works. Those are the dynamics of a tax deed auction. Here's something really important you need to understand. I just don't go up and put my hand up. You got to do some research, okay? First of all, you want to find out what counties offer a tax deed sale. Okay, that's the most important thing. So about 50% of the counties offer a tax deed sale. Then you want to find out when is their sale. So what time is this sale going to happen of the year? Then you want to figure out, go back 30 days. Here's the sale. 30 days before that, they will have a list come out. Once that list come out, now you're going to start researching the list. What am I looking for? Anything of value. So if I sit there and look at this property, oh my gosh, look at this, a $300,000 neighborhood. They want $10,000 in back taxes. I'm in. Then you look at the picture and go, whoa. The property's burnt down. Can that happen? Absolutely. Or it's not habitable. You got to make sure that value is there. But here's the great thing. Okay, you look at these properties, you go, wait a second. It can be worth $300,000 in an ARV. Write this down. ARV. That stands for after rehab value. So then you sit there and you think to yourself, okay, wait a second. $10,000 might not get it for that, but if I did get it for $50,000 and had to dump $50,000 into it, that might not be bad. Okay, so let's say that I don't have $50,000 to rehab on the property. Well, now that I own the property at $50,000, there's all sorts of private money. I did not say hard money. Do not say that word. That is back alley money. We don't do that. But think about this. I just helped an investor. They had a property very similar to what we're talking about. They needed about $40,000. And they're going, oh, I'm going to go to my brother. He's going to give me the $40,000. And I'm going to split the profits with him. I'm going, why are you doing that? Because I don't have $40,000. I go, yeah, you do. They go, what are you talking about? I said, go out there and get $40,000 in 0% credit cards. She goes, why would I do that? I don't want to put on my credit card. Listen, you get 0% credit cards up to, let's say you've got 4 of them at $10,000 limits. You use that money to rehab the property. Now the property is worth $300,000. Her eyes just lit up. She's like, oh my gosh, I can pull the money out, pay off the credit cards and go, hello. Now you've got it happen. Or you sell the property, pay it off, or you rent the property. There's a million ways to Sunday on this. And then, you know what? I go, first of all, there is no interest. I think these were 18-month 0%. So she had no interest on it. Okay, all she had to do was pay that money back. She was willing to give up half of the deal to her brother because he had $40,000. Now, I don't know if he's talking to me anymore or not right now, but again, there's so many ways to make money on this, okay? What if you don't have the $50,000? There's ways you can do that also. The key is you gotta understand there's a profit potential. There are over 1,000 counties out there that offer tax deed. There are over 500 sales each and every single month, but there are also a bunch of things you need to know in order to make that happen. Look, we don't have a lot of time in this video. But if you want to find financial independence for you and your family, I've got some great news. I've got a free course, brand new. I just put it together. That's going to walk you all through that. It's in the descriptions down below. We'll get there in a second. It's going to show you where to find the counties, when the lists come out, what the best ones are, and what to look out for, and how not to make the 5 key mistakes that all beginning and novice investors always make. Hit the link down below. It's called the Higgins Method. Hit the link down below, higginsmethod.com. It's my gift to you. Good luck, and we'll see you on the other side. God bless.